All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Welcome, everyone, to the Clearview Township Council meeting for Monday, October the 20th, 2025. It is now 5:30 p.m. Council has just returned from a brief in-camera session, and so we're picking up our agenda at this time. We want to welcome members of our staff, members of the public, and consultants that are in the audience. And so at this time, I'd like to begin our meeting by recognizing the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples of Canada. As traditional stewards and caretakers of the land, we acknowledge that Clearview Township is located within the boundaries of Treaty 18, the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Tiatanati, the Wendat, and is the home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people as part of the intricate nationhood that reaches across Turtle Island. At this time of truth and reconciliation, we welcome the opportunity to work together towards new understandings and new relationships and ask the Creator for guidance in all that we do. And the land acknowledgement, of course, is voluntarily spoken by myself, and I'm very happy to do it on behalf of Clearview Township. So Council, we'll move on to our agenda. Item 1 has already been covered, so we're going to move straight to item number 2, which is approval of the agenda. Be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby approve the agenda dated October 20, 2025 as presented. Ms. Deneen, thank you. Mr. Walker, thank you. Any questions on today's agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor? That carries unanimous. Thank you. Declaration of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. Anybody got any declarations at this time? If anything comes up during the meeting, please bring it forward and we'll deal with it right away. Item 4 is our public participation period. We do have some members in the public, so I'll read the entire script. Be advised that comments and views expressed under the public participation period are not the views of the Township of Clearview Council or the administration. Public participation is limited to 15 minutes. Each person is limited to 5 minutes, and questions or comments are to be directed to the mayor. Questions shall not refer to personnel matters, litigation, or potential litigation, or planning matters that have already had a public meeting, or any item considered confidential. For those members of the public not able to attend the meeting in person, written public participation can be provided through the township's portal. Written comments shall be received prior to noon of the Friday before a regularly scheduled council meeting. And at this time, I'd like to remind everyone to please share the time with your fellow citizens. So we'll start with our opportunity for any online portal entries into the public participation period. Madam Clerk, I believe we have 2. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Worship.
Thank you. I have them here in front of me. So we'll start with the first one, just randomly. The first one comes from Mr. Dave Witzka. Mr. Witzka writes, reading the Centennial Pool Infrastructure Report, item 1. How can you really determine pricing for mechanical and membrane system replacement using data that will be almost 2 years outdated by the next budget? I'll give an answer right now, and that would be, Mr. Witzka, that the most recent engineering estimates are provided. Item number 2, how can there be no numbers available for AODA compliance? This is one of the costliest unknown factors. In fact, Mr. Witzka, I would agree with you. It could be a costly factor. However, there are no engineering estimates done on AODA compliance for this facility. If you check the report, we're actually looking for council's direction on whether we would actually move forward with something like that. And item number 3 is why are we needing to pay a Verkada security camera monitoring $20,000? You state here, a quick Google search showed that either Cambridge or Owen Sound is their nearest affiliate of a major U.S. company. Of course, then you wanted to add, Mr. Witzka, that yet you hashtag all your posts with local matters. Well, truly, I, as the mayor and as the Doug measures, I always post my postings that I find are interesting to the local municipality with hashtag local matters, as I'm the mayor of this local municipality. In regards to the Verkada security camera monitoring, I just wanted to be clear with both you and the members of the public that security systems of all types that are applied by this municipality for the protection of data and or protection of properties and so on are not under the direction of the council at any time. And so those security systems are in place. They're all under the control of administration. So I encourage you to ask the staff, as no input on this matter was brought forward by council. And so it's frankly an issue that has the administration fully responsible for it. So they would select the security system that they feel they need. And at this time, I would ask you to reach out to the appropriate staff member, whether it's general manager, recreation, or the CAO, to perhaps acquire your answer. Second, I have another submission here for public participation from Mr. Dave Witzka. It's in regards to the Clearview Transit. Item number one, what are the monthly losses running this operation? And what area gets neglected to make up the shortfall? How much of the recently announced $577,000 funding by Brian Saunderson goes towards this? Okay, so first of all, what are the monthly losses for running this operation? First of all, this operation is a taxpayer-supported service. It's a service to the community, so it is not considered a loss at any time. Second, the area neglected to make up the shortfall, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then how much is recently of the recently announced 577,000 from Brian Saunderson? Mr. Saunderson delivered it on behalf of the province of Ontario, and that would be the OCIF funding, which is applied every year by the government of Ontario. Mr. Saunderson is the messenger who delivered the information to us, and OCIF funding is not connected to transit funding or operational funding in any way. Item number two, though, you ask why are fares still at $2 and bus passes $30 and $40 respectively since the inception of the project. And then you state, unsure about the accuracy of this statement, but taxes have risen by up to 50% higher, yet no rise in fares or passes. And no, I really don't care what agreement you have with Wasaga Beach. I don't pay Wasaga property taxes. Fair enough. That's fine. I would suggest to you that the report is in regards to Clearview Transit asking for a review. And perhaps information that may come from that review, perhaps may indicate the council can consider changes to the fare structure or pass structures, and further, perhaps changes to the routing, et cetera. We are interested to hear from the public in regards to this Clearview Transit system, and that's why the report clearly outlines that we're putting out a survey of good information to find good information to help us determine the best path forward when it comes to operating our valuable transit service. Those are the two that we received tonight, and I would ask if there's any members of the public who would like to come forward and ask any questions. Microphone's available. Going once, going twice. Nobody from the public? Okay. Well, thank you very much for participating anyway, for public participation period. Item number 5 is our delegations and presentations. Council, we do have a wonderful presentation here from the newly minted CAO of the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority. Jennifer Vincent is here. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome to Clearview Township Council chambers, and it's nice to have you here in our neighborhood.
Hi, thank you very much, Mayor, and I am very pleased to be. So, there we go. So, I am very pleased to present to you tonight the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Business Plan and Budget, and this marks my first contribution to this important process. And I'm really, really proud of the leadership, insight, and dedication that the NVCA staff and our board have shown to this process. It's been great. Next slide. So the Nottawasaga watershed is part of one of 36 conservation authorities across the province. Conservation authorities serve Ontario's population, and we do our work in the watershed basis, but it is not our work alone. Together with neighbors, our municipalities, university colleges, other levels of government, etc. And while we celebrate our successes, we also need to make sure that we are increasing our scope, scale, and intensity of work. And yet we also face pressures from urban expansion and climate change, and NVCA's work helps to ensure that that develops natural. safeguarded. Where does Clearview Township fit into? So you guys are in the northwest-ish, central to northwest-ish corner. Clearview has almost all of the Mad River, many of the core of the Blue Mountain tributaries, with a lot of smaller tributaries that feed into the Noxog River, including Lamont and Mac Creek. And the Blue Mountains tributaries are great through the escarpment, but as they come off the escarpment, and Creemore are also fairly significant flood risks in the region, and the center, north, and west of the township. Of services in 20 issue 3 permit situation, the summary of to have something last year for that work. Combination to what we are proposing for levy increase and decrease by over $1,000. And we to achieve that with no loss in services this year. Well as where and watershed management in partnership with our member municipalities, our other neighboring conservation authorities, as well as key among governments. really strong team to start that work from. I'm super proud of them. And we are going to take advantage of new technologies as well as working towards more thoroughly integrating client-centered services and priorities so that we can again serve our communities in the most efficient manner possible for the resources we have invested. Next slide, please. So you can divide our work into three broad categories. The Natural Hazard Management Program is the program we are best known for by our member municipalities and our developers. This is our permitting program. And as you know, a key function here is to build resilient watersheds and to prevent undesired in Ontario. But we also have to recognize that because this and risk against drought. However, when you get flooding where you don't want it, you've got loss of life, property devastation, long-term social, emotional, and economic disruptions. And so NVCA, we work really hard to make sure that we are working with our member municipalities, development communities, and landowners to make sure that we are directing flood to where we do want it and we can allow it, and we are preventing flood where it isn't supported. Next slide, please. A lot of this is data-based. We strongly support informed decision-making using the best available knowledge, and we have a very important role here to play both for ourselves and for our member municipalities to support informed decision-making. One of the big key changes from that perspective to years past is that conservation authorities no longer comment on natural heritage. We speak specifically to natural hazards, but we still collect the data that is associated with natural heritage, and we work to help our municipal members receive that best decisions as they can. So that's a big part of our watershed program. The drinking water source protection organization as per the Ontario Clean Water Act, and support our municipalities quite strongly in that particular role as well. Next slide, please. Our final tranche of significance is the one that most of our residents associate us with, and that is our land management and stewardship programs. And this is where we provide the one-on-one technical and financial assistance to landowners. This is our education awareness programs, our conservation areas, et cetera. These particular pieces of work focus on building that natural resilience to reduce risks to life and property from natural hazards, protecting water quality and quantity, improving resiliency to climate change, et cetera. And for specific to Clearview, at the moment, we have, of course, the big Clearview Carruthers Memorial Park project, which is one of our flagships that we really enjoy touting all over the place. In fact, I believe it's going to be in a Globe and Mail article coming out sometime soon. As an example, we also are looking and working on 2 potential new wetland projects in Clearview that we will be excited to share with the Deputy Mayor soon. We're still in the early stages of planning. And one of our big projects coming up this year in this area is the new Lowell conservation lands. We want to get into doing a review and updating of our land management plan for those particular pieces of land in the region, and working closely with the township on that, as well as we're doing some work on the new Lowell Dam as far as part of our regular infrastructure responsible reviews to ensure that the new Lowell Dam is functioning the way it should be. Next slide, please. So this is getting more into the numbers and less into the fun part for me. This is the overall situation we have for our levy increase. And you want to go to the next slide, you'll see the specifics to Clearview. We did a review with the support of the board on our Category 1 and Category 3 distributions. When it was first done at the end, as legislation changed in 2023, we largely did, if it was Conservation Authority lands work, it was level Category 1. If it was non-Conservation Authority lands, it was Category 3. With experience over the last couple of years, we realized that we were actually doing quite a bit of work in our watershed to improve resilience to flood and erosion. And by having improvements to flood and erosion risks, we were actually able to simply say increase development opportunities within those watersheds. So that actually classifies as Category 1. And with the board's support, we made those adjustments, as well as we found a number of efficiencies as well in Category 3. So that ended up with a net decrease in our Category 3 funding of about 30%. with a modest increase in category 1. And as I said, when it all washes out on the operations side of the house, we ended up with a net decrease of just over $9,000. This works out to be about this is the 2.8% increase in the total year-over-year levy. Next slide. When you look at us, similar to many organizations, yourselves included, I would assume, we are a very service delivery organization. So about 80% of our budget goes to salaries and the employment envelope. And this year, our employment envelope costs, when you consider cost of living increases, as well as CPP increases, pension plan increases, et cetera, actually worked out to 4% increase overall. So for us to bring that down to the increase we were able to do was pretty impressive, with the remaining 20% that we had there. 24 categories is how we divide our expenses. 11 are decreasing, 7 are flat, and only 6 are increasing. And as well, despite our $330,000 anticipated planning revenue, we have some really impressive increases in some of our other revenue sources through the federal and provincial governments, as well as our non-levy generating revenues. Next slide, please. This is just a quick overview of the distribution and a comparison year over year of where our funding sources are, largely just what I've just said to you right now. No real new addition information there. And the next slide. And just as a wrap up, I really would like to thank council for your support through the deputy mayor. It's been great, and he's been a great person to help me as I transitioned over, some great counsel, and as well as overall working with a really great board that I have at the NVCA, as well as some great staff. So thank you all very much, and I'm available for any questions.
Well, thank you. It's been great to have you here and present the information to us, and we thank you for the work that you and your staff are doing. At this time, I'll look to the floor. Is there anybody from our council who has any questions? I know the deputy mayor would like to certainly have one, but I'll give somebody a chance since you get to talk to her a lot. I know. Does anybody else get any questions? Nope, they're all being very quiet. Please go right ahead, Paul.
Thank you, Jennifer. Great. I mean, you're preaching to the choir when you're talking to me. So I just want to give a little supplement to what Jennifer spoke about. The last number of years have been challenging as far as budgeting is concerned. We previously approved a year ago, 2 new members of our planning staff, which saw for the increase in budgeting. But the benefit of is showing the results now that we are now getting our average day, I think is 18 days to respond.
17 days.
17 days for an average response for an application. The other thing that we try and remind people when we're budgeting for, especially when Jennifer explained that 81% of our costs are wages, and that's hard knock these days. We have to be ready for when things open up again. Yes, we're seeing a decrease right now in applications and stuff, but we know, as we see within Clearview with our own, our water resources and stuff, things are going to happen. And when they happen, we want to be staffed and be ready for them. We do have a couple positions we're not actively promoting to fill, but we're working with it. Now, you can say, how did you get the budget down? One of the big things we did, we did not take as much money for reserves this year, which is a little precarious, but we've all agreed that if there is a surplus for any reason, we will fill that surplus and top up our reserves in the coming year. So that's where the money's coming from. We're very proud of our staff being able to review a lot of our category 1s, 2s, and 3s and reallocate the ones or bring ones more into the one, which we'll call it billable hours, we'll say, and allocate properly. So they've done a great job reviewing it. Our board is very proud of them. It's like a breath of fresh air, almost not having to fight every time. Well, I won't say fight every time, wasn't that, but it was very challenging at times. So now we go in there and we seem to have a better handle on things. We'll say honestly, we are ready for growth, Jennifer, and we are going to see at some point in time. We've had a great conversation recently about the new Lowell Dam. I just want to bring that to everybody. There is an RFP coming forward as far as what it's going to affect. And Marty, I know you were very concerned about that. What's going to happen, we'll be reporting that back to council, and as the chips fall where they may, sort of thing. So anyways, I just wanted to add a bit. Jennifer and Cheryl, thank you for being. Cheryl, you're going to get off easy today, right? But thank you. They've done a great job. Cheryl was our acting CAO before we hired Jennifer to come in here. And so we've had a great transition and very happy with the results. So Just a couple comments and ask more questions away if you wish. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Are there any questions from the councillors? No?
Mayor,
Nothing at
just
this
if I,
time?
if I may just.
Please go
respond
right ahead.
To the one, through your worship, the new Lowell lands discussion that we want to have starting next year, actually probably starting even a little before next year, maybe. We do recognize that we really want to have this in close collaboration with the township. This is an important feature in the township, and we want to make sure that it's whatever our role is, as well as recognizing the recreational services that particular area provides, that we are doing it in collaboration and in agreement with what the future of that area looks like.
Okay. Well, certainly the new Lowell recreation area and the whole conservation area right there is certainly a tourism destination.
Yeah.
I've certainly seen many people canoeing and kayaking and so on that little body of water. Actually, I do have a quick question, if I may. Does the NVCA participate in doing water quality testing on the New Lowell Reservoir water, or is that something that's handled by the ministry? Do you guys monitor that as far as the health of the reservoir water?
Not from a swimming standpoint.
Okay,
Yeah, so any of the swimming work is done separate from us. We do more generalized state of the watershed type reporting through that area. I'd have to get back to you with specifics as to how frequently we're in the area.
Yeah.
But as far as, the beach there and whether it's safe to swim or not, that's not us, no.
yeah, I figured it was. Okay. I must say, I participated in an ATV ride that a group were putting together, and we used the county trails and connected up to, we ended up coming out right at the west end of the reservoir where the river sort of comes in and it starts to open up. Absolutely stunning place. Absolutely beautiful. It was just such a hidden little spot in our township that not a lot of people get to see unless they hike that trail back or ride their ATV back to see it. But it's right at the sort of right where the reservoir starts to open up. It's a beautiful spot. Absolutely stunning.
There's a lot of potential there, and with our reduced role in natural hazards and less on natural heritage,
Yep.
it's putting some strain on our mandate, but I think collaboratively we can figure out a very stunning and wonderful path forward for that particular
Yeah,
area.
for sure. All right. Paul, you had something else?
Thank you. I forgot to mention, we were talking about we'll say rehabilitation and stuff. There was a tree planting by the NVC and our volunteers on Saturday. Now, I couldn't go. Normally, I like to pop in for a minute at the Crothers Park. So, that we've gotten I will say a very good bang for our buck. We've got a lot of participation and as Jennifer mentioned about the letter or the article they'll be doing about it, but our volunteers are continually looking at planting trees and trying to keep that park as pristine as it can be for the future.
And it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Really is.
Also a beautiful spot in our township for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah. Well, listen, thank you very much for being here. I don't think there's any, oh, Marty has something. Great. Go ahead, Mr. Beelan.
Thank you, Worship. Could you give us a timeline on when you'd make the decision about New Lowell?
There is no particular timeline. It's on our work plan for 2026 that we want to have a draft plan for what will happen with what we see as.
So that could be June, it could be December.
The commitment is by December of next year.
Okay, thanks.
We gave ourselves lots of time because it's a bit of a new concept and we want to make sure it's done, as I said, collaboratively with the township and we need to do it right rather than quickly.
Fair enough. All right. Nothing further? Thank you very much.
Thank you very
for
much.
being
Worship.
here. Thank you for bringing your, what is it, Director of Corporate Services, Cheryl, along with you. She got off easy, as was said, but nice to have you here. And thank you for making your presentation. And certainly we will consider the draft business plan and budget when it comes to our budget discussions in the coming months.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank
All
you
right,
very much,
bye-bye.
Trevor. You're welcome to stay, or you can leave if you wish, but you're always welcome here at Clearview. Thank you. All right, members of council, we're going to move on to item 6, public meetings. There are no public meetings tonight, so we're going to move to approval of the council meeting minutes. Be it resolved that council of the township of Clearview hereby approve the minutes of the October 6, 2025 council meeting as presented. Mr. Deputy Mayor and Mr. MacArthur, thank you. Is there any questions on the minutes? Seeing none, Mr. Broderick, everything's good on the minutes? Always like to check. Thank you. All those in favor, please. And that carries unanimous. Thank you. Item number 8, correspondence for items for information. Regarding our in-camera session, I do not have a resolution, but I do have a small statement. And it simply says, there is no companion report to the open session agenda for council to receive or for information. There is no direction coming out of closed session. So that is item 8.1. And then as far as the rest, council, you have it here in front of you. The joint statement about clarification on homelessness programs and encampments. County age-friendly recognition awards champions. I do want to acknowledge that Monica Lowe Manicola, who is a resident here in Stayner, is also the recipient of one of our age-friendly recognition awards. She was not able to be there, but it was very nice to see that she was recognized for the great work she's always done in our community, helping the age-friendly award, helping her in her work that she does every day. Okay, county release, county urges drivers to follow Ontario's move over law. That's pretty clear, isn't it, folks? You see somebody come up behind you or in front of you with a flashing red and white light, emergency vehicle, pull over. Makes quite sense. Yes, Mr. Walker.
Your worship, and do not forget the green.
Yes, well, I was just going to
Thank you.
get to it because I was looking at the chief saying, I know that many of our volunteer firefighters do use the green lights, and they have them available to them if they wish to help notify other drivers that they're responding to the hall to perhaps even help you and your family. So this is obviously about the move over law. It has to do with the paramedics, the fire trucks, the police officers, and even tow trucks. Tow truck operators are also protected underneath this law as well. So let's keep that in mind, folks. County statement, residents deserve to know the impacts of the annexation on specific lands. That saga continues. County Council will be dealing with that tomorrow. Yet again, another statement at County Council. I do want to acknowledge our colleagues, council at Essa Township Council. They sent us a letter of support for our Arctic Over the Horizon Radar Receive Start letter. And also 8.8, the town of Innisfil also sent us a letter in regards to their support for our Arctic Over the Horizon Radar Receive Site comments. And then 8.7 is the budget board highlights from the NVCA for September. Are there any questions or anything you need to pull out of any of these? Okay, thank you very much, council. We're going to go to our council reports right away then. Mr. Walker, you are up first. Go Blue Jays.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, your worship. Not a whole lot. October 14th was an accessibility meeting and we're busy working on 2 or 3 ideas. Upcoming, we have the library tomorrow. The battery storage public engagement again at St. Pat's Hall on October the 28th from 6:30 to 8:30. And I encourage all residents of Stayner and or Clearview to go out and look at the presentation and ask questions. Council needs to know what direction we need to look at, but you, the residents, are the ones that we count on to give us that direction. So please go out and to that meeting and ask lots of questions and give us some feedback. That's it, your worship. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to acknowledge that the Compass Group, who are the proponents of this recent BESS project, have been doing some advertising, and I appreciate them doing that to let the public know about their meeting on the 28th. And I saw some ads in the Creemore Echo and heard one on the radio too. So thank you. Mr. Beelan.
Thank you, your worship. I'd like to announce that the Troy Scott Memorial Skateboard Park additions have been completed, and there are many new ramps there, and they look really good. I'd like to congratulate Randy Lamers and his crew for a job well done. October 15th, the Station on the Green had a board meeting, and we welcomed our newest member, Bill Mann. And lastly, I'd like to announce the New Lowell Legion 6th Annual Haunted House. It runs from October 29th to November 1st from 5:30 to 8:30 at night. It's $3 admission or a donation to the food bank. It is the best little haunted house in Clearview. November 1st, there is a little session from 3:30 to 4:30 for kids that maybe get scared too easy. They turn the sound down and stuff. So it's a good time in Clearview in New Lowell. It's so serious that we don't even play cards or dart on the Wednesday night before this. So it's a pretty good little time. That's all I got.
Mr. Beelan, what is your role in the haunted house?
I do not have a role there.
Okay, we have to cast you in a role soon, I'm sure.
I may start up my chainsaw if I could get training on it.
There you go. Councillor Beelan, excellent jersey there. Or sorry, Councillor Deneen, excellent jersey.
Thank you, Your Worship. So basically, all I've got is just what's going on at our Nottawa Hall. This Saturday is the Nottawa Firefighters 25th Annual Halloween Party. During the day between 4 and 7, they've got a free family fun afternoon or evening, I guess, pumpkin carving and prizes and a cash barbecue. And then afterwards, a 19+ event dance from 8 till 1. And there's store prizes and toonie toss, just a general fun night for anybody that wants to go out to that. October 19th is our next library day. November 6th is the all ages Songwriters That Rock, the Small Halls event. And just mention and honorable mention out to the parks, to Amanda and crew. October 9th, the dinner and comedy night was a great success. Everybody that was there seems to nothing but good comments about it, and thank them for all they did at that night. Thank you.
Sorry I missed it, but I know it was a big, really good time. Well done. I'll see you at the Songwriters at Rock event. I'll be there for that. Mr. Deputy Mayor, would you like to go next?
Sure. Thank you, Your Honor. We have, after our last meeting on October 7th, a bunch of us here had the opportunity to go to the grand opening of the new Lavero air system, or air business, we'll call it, and one of the new hangars. And talk about nice planes.
Oh, boy.
I heard you put your name on one.
I did.
We scratched it on. I guess that's about as far as I got. Yeah.
I took out the Leatherman and carved it right in.
Oh, okay. But beautiful spot. It's a great business. With the people who are involved, some local people, some are coming here to understand the air industry in this community is growing and growing. We had great talks with the owners, the new owners, and Jordy Daglish, the owner of the airport. So it was really good to hear where everything's progressing. It was good. The only other thing I can really talk about is we did the Trillium Foundation, Ontario Trillium Foundation recognition this last Friday. The group, our group of girls and stuff, did a great job talking about the new, the opportunities. So I think a lot of us, I'll leave some for other people to talk a bit about it, but it was a great opportunity to see the indoor bowling, carpet bowling, and the curling, indoor curling. So anyways, and for the rest, the mayor and myself will be at county council tomorrow. So if there's anything that comes up right through this meeting, please, you can ask us. You're welcome to. And amongst other things we have going on this week, I will be at NVCA on Friday. And so if anything else with that, please see me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. MacArthur.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to also follow up on the aviation open house. I thought I should take my shoes off when I went into that hangar.
I know.
It was so
nice.
spit and
Yeah.
polished, but from what I learned, like there's going to be 5 or 6 real good paying jobs come into that facility, and they're really hoping that because Clearview is such a beautiful place that they can should be easy to attract people to work in this area. November 8th, we had Streetscape Phase 1 wrap-up meeting in the morning via Zoom, so we're hoping to get things together and hopefully proceed on with Phase 2. 17th, on Friday too, with the worship and Phyllis, we presented official check presentation to the Georgian Triangle Humane Society and learned quite a few things that day. One interesting thing that I didn't notice was their veterinary services for neuters and spays and all that stuff, which aren't just for, people that maybe can't afford a full-fledged vet, but they said they actually make money off that. I'm not sure how, but anyway, anybody that needs those services and want to save $1 or $2 and help out the society, give them a call. And also on the 17th, as the deputy said, the Ontario Trillium Foundation And that day, it's always a good day when you learn something. So I learned that the bowls that you use in lawn bowling aren't round. So it's a good day.
I think we all figured that one out after a few minutes, didn't we? Yeah. Mr. Broderick.
Thank you, Your Worship. October the 7th, attended the Lavero Aviation official opening and ribbon cutting. Yeah, that was quite the event. Yeah, the floors were definitely polished. I don't know how they got that airplane in there without marking it up, but they did. October 14th, attended the Clearview Chamber of Commerce executive meeting. On the 17th, along with other councillors, attended the Ontario Trillium Foundation event, showcasing Active Communities program, the Active Communities program. October 18th, attended the Jamie Williams Small Holes concert with a packed crowd at the Sunnydale Small Hall. And tomorrow is the Public Library Board and also the Clearview Chamber of Commerce regular meeting. October 24th is the Clearview Chamber of Commerce's Witches Walk Reimagined in Stayner. On the 28th is the next Creemore BIA meeting and the public planning meeting. The 31st is the next Sunnydale Hall board meeting. That's it.
All right. Thank you, John. I do want to acknowledge that the Lavero Aerospace or aircraft facility was in fact amazing. And the folks were really amazing. And the work that they do is quite significant, working on the Pilatus aircraft, or the first what's considered an OEM producer that is available at Calling Regional Airport. There's always been mechanics available at Calling Regional Airport, but this time this is the first OEM manufacturer. So basically, you could consider they now have a dealership for the Pilatus aircraft there that have qualified trained mechanics who work specifically on those aircraft and others, but it's kind of a significant investment that's happened there. So quite pleased that that's right here in our township. A couple of you mentioned the Trillium Foundation grant. I want to just, Emma, bring the camera on to me because I want to show this. I know you can do that. I just want to show this here. We got this beautiful plaque here that came from Brian Saunderson. There it is. Okay, so Brian was not able to attend, but his staff delivered this to us. I'll quickly read it for you since it was not read out loud, but I thought it was quite significant. It says that Clearview Township is the recipient of the 2024 Ontario Trillium Foundation Grant for Resilient Communities Fund on behalf of the Government of Ontario. As the member of Provincial Parliament for the riding of Simcoe Grey, I offer my congratulations to your organization. This funding will be used by the township to build resilience and sustainability by creating, implementing, and evaluating community projects that support getting people active. Please accept my best wishes, and it's signed by Brian Saunderson, our MPP. So I thought that was kind of nice that he said that because it is a terrific program. And as I said that day when we had an opportunity to speak at the mic, that very proud of the volunteers of the Stayner Lawn Bowling Club that celebrating their anniversary as well. It was just terrific. Their coaching staff are fantastic. They convinced us all to give it a try. Taught us some lessons about what these bowls are. They're not called balls or bowls. And I also learned the other aspect too, is that part of the bowl is it's weighted on one side versus the other, so that helps to make it curl on the mats. The short mat bowling is becoming a huge success. And I had a visit actually from one of their coaches today, and she shared with me that up in Muskoka, they have over 100 people playing every week at this little facility they have up there, indoor short mat lawn bowling. And so it's a growing thing. sort of like pickleball, folks. It's a growing thing. So we may, in fact, see more requests for that type of activity in our community. So it was an honor to be there. I want to tell you about Saturday. I was invited on Saturday to attend the another bowling event. This one is actual bowling with bowling balls, Bowling Down Barriers. The Breaking Down Barriers organization was holding a fundraising event with many teams participating at Georgian Bowl, which is owned by the Hanley family, which are a terrific family in our community that always do great fundraising events there for different organizations at the Georgian Bowl. And I was there with members of Collingwood Council, and we brought greetings and shared with many of the participants from Breaking Down Barriers the importance of this event and why they do the great work that they do. So I just want to mention that Breaking Down Barriers, it was well worth attending, and I know that they did some great fundraising there. And just to circle back, I want to acknowledge that the October 28th is the BESS meeting that Robert Walker mentioned at St. Parish's Hall. So, or St. Patrick's Hall, St. Patrick's Parish Hall. That's where it's going to be. And we're really happy that they're doing this once again to bring information forward to the public. And as a last piece, I do want to mention and acknowledge our friends at the Creemore Echo. This is the Creemore Echo newspaper, which I know you can't get right now in the mail, but you can pick it up in various spots. What a great story right here about the D&D radar project. Really good story right here. I just want to acknowledge that they did a great job covering this and showed the importance of protecting agricultural lands in our community. And I look forward to working with this group even more to help them do that. So that's all I really have at this time. It's going to be a busy week for me. I've got a lot of things on the go, and look forward to seeing all of you at all these wonderful events. Okay, let's move on, Council, to item number 10, which is our department reports. First item is our bylaw enforcement team is here. Our senior bylaw officer, Joe Paddock, has joined us in the chambers. I have his resolution here in front of me. I'll read it to look for a mover and seconder. Recommendation be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report BL 001-2025, the Property Standards Maintenance Update 2025, dated October 20, 2025, for information. Mr. Walker and Mr. Broderick, thank you very much. Mr. Paddock, would you like to outline anything in the report that that perhaps you'd like to highlight for Council's consideration?
Thank you, Your Worship. I think the report stands on its own, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you very much. I just want to acknowledge that you and your team are out there monitoring this bylaw along with all the other bylaws that are involved in enforcement. So thank you for this report on our property standards bylaw. Members of council, do you have any questions to Joe in regards to the property standards bylaw? Yes, go ahead, Mr. McCarthy.
Yeah, just he's outlined everything here, and I'd just like to say I think you're doing a great job of cleaning up some of these spots around the township, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. And thank you, Mr. MacArthur. Joe, is there any areas that perhaps we can give residents some advice about property standards? Obviously, long grass is a real obvious one, but the collection of materials that are sometimes household materials that are kept outdoors of the house, they seem to accumulate, and that becomes sort of the issue that you deal with. Would that be correct? And any advice you might have for people?
Thank you, Your Worship. I would say keep your property as clean as you can. We do have a landfill here, which you can take belongings to. If you believe that you're starting to accumulate more than what you should, you can always rent a bin and deal with the garbage or debris that way.
Okay. And thank you. And the grass cutting, of course, that's of course, if it rains.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have rain, it doesn't grow. But if it does rain, what is the height that you look for that needs to be enforced?
Anything above 30 centimeters or 12 inches has to be cut below that.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. And members of council, anything further? Seeing none? Thank you, Joe. And thank you, Madam Clerk, who's chairing that. If there is nothing further, I'll call the motion. All those in favor? And that carries unanimous. Thank you very much, Mr. Paddock. Moving on, council, to page 4, Planning and Building Department. We've got the draft plan subdivision extension for Clearview Park. The recommendation is, I would imagine, Derek, you're handling this if necessary? Okay. Be it resolved, the Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report PB 029-2025, it's the draft plan subdivision extension for Clearview Park dated October 20, 2025. Item 1, that council approve the extension of the Clearview Park draft plan of subdivision being file number 25-054, and it's 2011-002 SD for an additional 1 year period, with the new lapse date being October 20, 2026. Item 2, that council approve the amendments to the existing draft plan conditions as outlined in Appendix E of this report, and that notice of decision be given in accordance with the Planning Act. I'll take a mover and seconder. Janine, thank you. Seconder, Mr. Van Staveren, thank you. Derek, would you like to explain item number 1 for me, which is the extension for an additional 1 year?
Sure. Thank you, Your Worship. So the 1 year extension that was requested by the applicant was just to facilitate additional time for them to work through their proposed red line request and zoning bylaw amendment applications. The applicant felt that that was sufficient enough time to work through those processes, and it is anticipated, should those applications be approved, that a new lapsing date would form as a result of new conditions coming out of the red line request and future zoning bylaw amendment application. So the 1 year is to allow them to kind of get to that kind of finish line.
Okay, so is 1 year sufficient?
The applicant has requested 1 year, and they felt that that was sufficient enough time for them to complete that.
All right, I just have to ask because it's an unusual request. How many developers come to us asking for many multi-years, and that's the first one I've ever seen. It's a 1 year request.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right, thank you. Members of council, do you have any questions? Yes, Mr. Van Staveren.
Thank you. Derek, when I see this with this application, there was receivership involved with it. Are any of the proponents or the previous owners to the new owners the same people?
Through Your Worship to Deputy Mayor Van Staveren, no.
Okay, it's a totally different group of people.
Correct.
Good, thank you.
Other questions? Anybody else? Okay. All right, thank you, Derek. So you're suggesting that we could see this project come back to us within the next 11 months?
Through Your Worship, yes, that's correct. And they would be subject to the same draft plan extension fee if it gets to that point. Otherwise, it could be a new lapsing date formed through the red line and zoning bylaw later next year.
Go again, Paul?
Thank you. Derek, was this the same property that they were pre-selling homes that weren't supposed to be sold?
To the Deputy Mayor, yes, I believe that was this property.
Okay,
Yeah.
I believe so too. Has this situation been resolved
Which situation?
in regards to them taking deposits from people? I just want to make sure we're not on the hook for anything here that by approving this new development.
Yeah, to my knowledge, RWA Acquisitions, I believe, has purchased the land through the receivership. So the previous developer is no longer involved in this.
Okay, and we don't have any obligations to, not that we should have had, but I just want to make sure we've got a clean slate going into this.
Yeah, not to my knowledge, we have no obligations, but perhaps the CAO has further knowledge of that.
Mr. CAO, Mr. Ferguson?
Thank you, Your Worship, to Your Worship, to Deputy Van Staveren. The previous company that had the property that had pre-sold did not have a draft plan submitted at all at that time. It went through the receivership process, and other developers have now picked it up. So the new developers are not the same people or involved with the previous company whatsoever.
All good?
Yes.
If you've got more questions, go right ahead.
No, I just feel for the people who got taken by this previous, and I didn't know if there was any obligations from the new owner's point of view, if there was any, or the government has stepped in to sort of, because I believe they were not part of Terrian or anything else. They shouldn't have been selling the houses. And I want to make sure we don't, I want to make sure this doesn't happen again.
As I understand it, Paul, they obviously had to appear in front of a court, so a judge would have had to give them an opinion.
Okay, that's true.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
Nope, that's,
No, I think some did recover some of their money through insurance, but it was unbeknownst to the municipality that this was even occurring.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Okay, so back to my initial comment, we expect to hear something from this property within 11 and a half months even. Who knows? Okay. Members of council, if there's nothing further, I am prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? All right, that carries unanimous. Thank you very much. All right, we do have report PB 039, Delegated Authority and Other Planning Act Approval Summary. So the summary is here. And I'll read the resolution. Be it resolved, the Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report PB 039-2025, Delegated and Other Planning Act Approval Summary, October 2025, dated October 20th, 2025. For information, I love the way you guys write this stuff in the clerk's department. Go ahead. Mr. Walker, thank you. Ms. Deneen, thank you. You got any comments on this? Do you have any? No, nothing?
Through your worship, no, I think the report stands for itself. We do this as a monthly summary, just the delegated authority. And if there's any questions about any of the approvals, I'm here to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Members of council, any questions? Seeing none, prepare to call the motion. All in favor? And that carries unanimous. Moving on. Page 5. Where are we? Draft plan of subdivision extension, Georgian Communities. All right, council, I have the resolution here in front of me. It says, be it resolved, the council of the township of Clearview hereby receive report PB 040-2025, the draft plan of subdivision extension, Georgian Communities, dated October 20, 2025. And item 1, that council approve the extension of the Georgian Communities draft plan of subdivision being file number 2025-059 for an additional 5-year period, with the new lapse date being October 20, 2030. And that council approve the amendments to the existing draft plan conditions as outlined in Appendix E of this report, and that notice of decision be given in accordance with the Planning Act. Okay, take a mover and seconder on this. Mr. MacArthur, Mr. Broderick, thank you. All right, Derek, do you have anything you want to add to this? This one's a little more complicated with some very good amendments that have been added underneath Appendix E. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, your worship. Both Dan and myself are here and available for questions. I know there's some substantial input from the Public Works Department with respect to the draft plan conditions. No changes are proposed to the layout of the subdivision at this time, but staff do anticipate that there is a potential for future red line applications. But with the application before you and any of the conditions, we're here to answer any questions that you have.
All right, thank you very much. Members of council, do you have any questions to the staff on this report? Phyllis, yes, go ahead.
Not so much questions, just a little bit of input. I've read through it all, and I was speaking to Rosalind earlier today and asking about the new things that were added and all of that. And when you read through the entire thing, all the new stuff that's there, I thought it was really a lot more thoughtful, a lot more thorough. And apparently we have Patty to thank for that she has made things a whole lot more streamlined. And I just wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to her. And all those new things that you see are going to be included in all the new subdivisions going forward too. So it's kind of interesting to see all of that.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks.
I would suggest to you as part of that is that engineering studies or engineering standards that we did, right? So
Yes.
thank you. If I do have I have a question from nobody else. Nobody else, you sure? Going once, going twice? Dan, if I may, just to be clarified for the public's information, the well studies extend to 500 meters, is that correct? From the property line of the proposed subdivision? Is that correct? Is it 500 meters that we look at other wells in that catchment area for well impacts or any impacts to any wells? Is that correct?
Thank your worship, and I think you're talking about like pump testing, that
Pump
type of thing?
testing, any well deficiencies, or as in, people running out of water, and questioning whether the well will be taking water, as in the new subdivision well will be taking waters from
Yeah.
an aquifer that is under question. So My concern is the 500 meters, because as a person who is from Nottawa, I can tell you, I've had people ask me questions about this who live over on Nottawa Side Road. And frankly, not far from where Councillor Deneen lives. Like, that's a long way away from where this wellhead is. So I just want to clarify that that's the standard engineering practice to monitor wells when you're doing some type of pump testing for how many meters away from the well?
Through your worship, I believe 500 is the number, but it also there is also a requirement for people to allow for the monitoring to be done on their well too. So,
Yes.
you know, regardless of the area that's required, there's a requirement, but also the availability of those wells is also. So if you remember that we had that public meeting here for that EA process, that's still ongoing and progressing as well. So if there are people are, and I believe it was mentioned here from Crozier, that if there are people concerned about their well, when they do the pump testing, to make their well available so they can collect that data as, you know, as part of the process. The well is under development, but you won't really know, just like our Klondike Park well,
Yes.
you know, the wells are drilled, testing has been done. You won't really know the full impact of that well until we're actually producing water from it. So similarly, the well was found. It seems like it's going to be a decent amount of water there. They've done some 72-hour testing, but until that's in production, we won't really know the full impact of it. But in general terms, yes, I believe it's about a 500-meter radius that they'd look for, but they'd also need access to those wells.
Right. Okay. So again, the best advice we can offer is that people, when well testing is about to commence, that they will be contacted if they're within that 500 meter, and then they should be encouraged to participate so that they can get data about their own well available to them from this result. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Participate.
Right. Great. Okay. Those are the main questions that keep coming up to me as a resident of the area and the mayor. And so it's continually frustrating when I always point out people that have septic system and well systems that provide water and sewer systems for their own homes. They must maintain them. They must look after them. It's their responsibility to do so. Phyllis Siddiq, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. So on the new draft plan here, number 12, it's a new, it's prior to any site alteration, the owner shall agree to, in the site preparation, pre-servicing subdivision agreement, to retain a hydrogeologist to monitor the private wells and groundwater conditions, including vulnerabilities related to the aquifers, to access any impact on the existing wells and/or aquifers in the areas surrounding the draft plan where groundwater conditions may be impacted by the development of the subdivision. The owner shall submit reports prepared by such hydrogeologists to the satisfaction of the municipality, documenting the results of the monitoring program. Further, the owner shall provide potable water to any landowner whose private well or water system is adversely impacted, and to permanently rectify the problem to the satisfaction of the landowner and the municipality. The potable water to be provided and any works to rectify the problem with the private well or water system shall be at the sole cost of the owner. So that is something new that's been put in this draft plan as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Dan, do you have any comment about that last statement, particularly about will be the responsibility of the owner?
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. And I think that condition more so relates to the development of the site. So if they were installing as the development progressed and they're putting in pipe in the ground, and the groundwater is too high, they're going to need to dewatering. So putting in essentially wells along the way
where they put their pipes. In those instances, if there are wells, private wells located in vicinity of that happening, then they would have to provide temporary water.
Right.
It's more
So for
so,
a dewatering during construction period, that's actually common construction practice,
yeah,
right?
the groundwater's too high, you don't put pipes in the ground. That's
Absolutely.
too,
Yeah.
I think that's what that condition speaks to as far as the dewatering process or the development of the site in general. Like if there were some grading works that needed to be done that maybe needed to be drier, they'd have to dewater. That's why I believe that that condition speaks to. The municipal well development part of it is on a whole different scale. Like,
Right.
you know, the well that is going to be developed there is going to be on a whole different, I'll say aquifer, or different plane than than a groundwater type system.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm very comfortable with this report myself, and so I appreciate taking the opportunity to have a conversation with you about that. And I think there's a whole lot in here once we get to the point where there's a possible red line revision. One of the pieces that I look forward to then in all of this, after this is resolved as far as sewer and water, is it's very, very likely that there will be a traffic light in Nottawa as a result of this intersection going into this new subdivision. So I think that that's will speak. It'll make great changes to Nottawa. So, you know, we'll be able to slow down traffic because there'll actually be a traffic light. You can imagine. I'm not sure how Nottawa's going to feel about that, to be honest, but you know, change is part of it. Did you have something else you want to add, Paul?
Thank you. I just also in reading the report, I was really excited to talk about parkland, and
Yes.
they've identified the park. So, you know, we keep talking about our park facilities, and I know the Massey family is very much an advocate of community support for sports and stuff like that. So it was so nice to see that part established in this agreement. So thank you.
Yep, I agree. If there's nothing further, thank you, members of council, staff, you're all good? Okay. Thank you, members of council. We have a mover and seconder. and I'm prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? That carries unanimous. All right. Look forward to this. All right, we're going to move on now to Parks Recreation. We have a report here about the Stainer Centennial Pool. There's a very interesting report here. The recommendation is be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report PCR 013-2025 Stainer Centennial Pool update dated October 20, 2025 for information. Mr. Broderick, thank you. Mr. Walker, thank you. And hello, Amanda Murray. Nice to have you here. Amanda, do you want to add anything to your report or any comments you'd like to add?
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Good evening, members of council. I don't have much to add. The report is pretty self-explanatory. Really, at this point, we just wanted to highlight that the Stainer Centennial Pool, constructed in 1967, is Clearview Township's only outdoor pool facility. Once again, we've had another successful summer with 190 registered lessons for swimmers. We are able to train future lifeguards through free programming with our Advanced Aquatics program. Through the Ontario Trillium Foundation, we were able to expand our aqua fitness program to include boga boards, which was a brand new program that we were able to bring in. As well as we were able to extend our hours of operation on Friday nights as well as on Monday nights. So some successes from 2025. Again, the real meat of the purpose of this report is on the mechanical system. So just really want to highlight kind of the 4 areas of interest that our department is looking at and is going to be seeking some council direction in the coming years. With regards to the future mechanical replacement, we are beyond the life expectancy of the system at the Stainer pool. We've had a number of capital repairs, both through our preventative maintenance program, as well as through other capital infrastructure in the previous 7 to 8 years. But we're really at the point now where our circulating pump, the digital flow meter, the filters really need to be upgraded in order to continue with the future life of the pool. Of course, if we have a pool, we need to have a basin, and our basin is at the end of its life expectancy. So capital upgrades would be considering refinishing the pool with a PVC membrane or something similar that would extend the life cycle of the outdoor pool basin upwards to 25 years. So the details of that are within the report. The interior office also needs to be looked at in terms of being able to serve our customers, as well as being able to adapt to new technology and to new staff issues that we have there. So just being able to better serve our public, an interior renovation of the office would be certainly well suited. The third item is a security camera monitoring system. So currently at our recreation facilities, we do have monitoring systems in place. However, at the Stainer Centennial Pool, we do not. So staff has a recommendation to protect our facilities as well as to monitor kind of any of the activity that shouldn't be happening at an outdoor pool outside of those normal hours of operation. So a security monitoring system would be something to consider. The last element, which is of no surprise to Township Council and to our township as a whole, is our AOD compliance. So currently at our pool, we are facing a number of accessibility concerns. Immediate issues include accessible doors, change rooms, washrooms, a universal washroom facility, accessible customer service area, just to name a few items. At this point in the report, we don't have any costs. We haven't been directed to get any engineering costs, nor have we explored what true capital renovations of that entire building would look like. So council, really the meat and potatoes of this report is to really look at the future plan of the Stainer Centennial Pool. The harsh reality is that our facility is no different than many other facilities in Ontario. We are faced with an infrastructure deficit. We are needing to have some capital replacement if we want to stay in the business of providing pool and aquatics to our residents of Clearview. So with regards to financial implications, this report is for information only. However, during the 2026 deliberations, our department will be bringing forward a number of items to be considered, as well as any other future plans that need to happen. So I know we are, it's a pretty lengthy report. Myself and Terry are both here to answer any questions. I also did include a couple photos of where we are, the state of some of the mechanical items within our facility. So happy to answer any questions about that or the contents of this report.
Thank you very much, Amanda. You're right, it is a very lengthy report, but it has a great deal of content that deserves a lot of attention of this council. So thank you for bringing it to our attention. Members of council, do you have any questions? Mr. Van Stavern, Ms. Deneen, Mr. Beelan, please go right ahead.
Thank you. First, Amanda, thank you for the report. I don't think we have, I for one would be remiss if we didn't want to continue with a pool. We need a pool in our community. And I think it's essential that we work towards keeping that. However, we have had some conversation. I mean, I look at the money that we could go out and spend all at once, and I also look at staging stuff. You know, you talked about the AODA, for instance, of the washrooms and stuff like that. But I'd like to know is there an AODA requirement for the actual pool? So then my question expands a bit further and to say, what's first, the chicken or the egg? Do we fix the pool to make it AODA compliant and then put the membrane in and then do the pump work last? Can we stage it? The other thing that always intrigued me is we have a building right next door, the Granite Club, the Curling Club. It's close. And they've been asking over the last couple of years about upgrading to the AODA. Is this a time that we should possibly look at maybe combining some of these facilities first to get better utilization out of a facility like that? Because our Granite Club sits empty all summer long. And if we could do something that would make their facility AODA compliant and possibly a new change room concept and make our facilities AODA compliant, it might be a win-win for both situations. So I'm just throwing those ideas out. But if you could speak about what should we be doing first?
Chicken and egg question. Well done.
Excellent. Thank you, through your worship. That's a really good point, and I guess that's the difficulty with any recreation facility. Ultimately, when we go to do any of the replacement, the pool will have to be closed for a period of time, no matter what. We would be recommending the mechanical system likely to be first. That is the area of concern that has the greatest need. We're currently just in a repair, patchwork, and react to problems that are happening. Installing a new mechanical system as outlined in the report would give us certainly a long enough life cycle to address all the other items. The aesthetically pleasing element of a membrane and finishing the pool membrane would definitely be something that could happen in year 2 or year 3 of a phase. With regards to AODA, currently right now, it's actually the easiest to get into the pool. If you can get through the doors and through our change rooms and out onto the pool deck, through the support of the accessibility committee, we have a wheelchair lift that allows you to access the pool, as well as new accessible stairs. So entering and exiting the pool is accessible. It's the entering into the building and the egress out and using the facilities that are within that are the problem. But I would say at this point, we are very much needing a mechanical upgrade. Every time there's a repair, the repairs are taking longer. We used to be down for a couple hours. Now we're down for a couple days. When we had the pipe failure, we were down for a couple weeks. So it is just a matter of time before the entire system is not repairable.
Thank you.
Thank you. To your point, Amanda, if we're down a couple of weeks, it's really only open a handful of weeks all summer anyway. So that just decimates any type of scheduling capabilities. So, Mr. Vachon, would you like to chime in on this?
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. And to answer Deputy Van Severin's second question with respect to multi-use or sharing the Granite Club, I think the Granite Club are going to be coming to council in the very near future with some proposals of their own. They've recognized that their facility is closed over the course of the summer, and they're looking at perhaps putting some investments into that facility to make it a year-round facility for their rentals or their purpose. So although it does sound like a good idea to perhaps share that facility, I think that facility will not be available in the very near future. It sounds like they want to, perhaps put a concrete pad down and perhaps rent that out to the public over the course of the summer and try to gather some more revenue. So I'll let them kind of explain that to council in the near future, but I don't think that'll be an option.
Well, thank you for that update. Look forward to that information when it comes to this council table. I'll look to other members. I have Councillor Deneen and then Councillor Beelan and anybody else. Go ahead, Councillor, and Mr. Walker. Okay, go
Thank you,
ahead.
Your Worship. Just through you to Amanda, is there an opportunity of another Trillium grant for something like this? Like, I remember a lot of the buildings used to have the Winterio thing stuck to the side of them. I'm just wondering about that.
Yes, thank you, through your worship. So obviously our department seeks capital grants when possible and when the priorities best line up. Is there something right now in our back pocket? Not currently on the books, but certainly if there is priority identified from council to proceed with capital investments, then we would investigate future opportunities for that. Winterio doesn't exist anymore. It hasn't existed for a long time. And this is how we've, yeah. And this is how we've ended up in this situation where there are many facilities that are suffering, so.
It's a 58-year-old building. Yes, Mr. Beelan.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm curious about this membrane and how much it costs to paint every year. The membrane, almost 200,000. That's quite expensive. And it says it's supposed to last 25 years. I'm wondering if that's guaranteed for a certain number of years. I know I own a pool, a liner, you're lucky to get 15 years out of them. So it's hard to believe it would last 25 years. That works out to $8,000 a year. I'm just wondering, what do we spend on painting, and are there other options other than the this liner? And maybe there's other liners too that we should look at. I think since our budget meetings are coming up, we'd like to have more information on what we can do to line the pool, make it look better, and how much it costs to paint every year.
Yeah, certainly through your worship. So the membrane is not a traditional pool liner. It wouldn't be the same that you would see in a residential pool. It's a PVC membrane. I actually wish I had brought the sample with me for you to see. It completely waterproofs the pool basin. Right now, we estimate between $8,000 to $10,000 worth of staff time and maintenance time goes into repainting the pool every year. And that's strictly just painting the pool a beautiful blue aquatic color and adding the legislated markings like the black dot and the lines onto it. There's no repairs to waterproofing the basin. We know there are leaks that are happening. There's no repairs to the skimmers, to the different fixtures and fittings that happen. We're not at all sealing in the entire base of the pool. Plus, it's a concrete pool. So another advantage to the PVC membrane or a similar type of product is just the improved usability of it. So it'll feel more comfortable walking in it. It'll be more easier for our pool equipment to go in and out, much easier to clean because the entire surface is smooth. Right now, when you run your hands along the pool wall, you get that concrete, painted concrete feeling. We did have a company investigate power washing or sand blasting, but the integrity of the pool walls are at risk. So without hiring a company to completely do a completely new liner or some sort of other way that we can get right into the basin, that would be the challenge. We don't want to disrupt the integrity of the walls or the base of the pool. Great thought, certainly something that we can look at. Another couple options, outdoor pools are being faced with this. This new PVC membrane seems to be a really valuable tool on the market right now and something that a number of contractors have recommended. And they've been out to our pool to investigate our current status when there's been no water in it so they can see the cracks and the problems that we have with the foundation.
So maybe for our budget meetings, you can get us maybe pictures or places that they've used this membrane and yeah, perfect. Okay,
Certainly.
thanks.
Good points. Thank you very much. Councillor Walker.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. I'm not surprised, 58 years old. We've done really well to survive without any major issues to this point. When we look at the mechanical system, we're looking at chlorine again? Or are we looking at upgrading to salt water?
Through your worship, right now, the replacement plan would just be like for like, so a chlorinating system. Honestly, to replace with a saltwater system, we would really have to take a look at the entire piping, the storage, the location, the hydro usage. Having come from a pool previously that was saltwater and converted back to chlorine, I professionally would maybe not recommend going down that path, but I would say at this point for an outdoor pool, a chlorination system is still very satisfactory.
All right, good points again. All right, well, then I look at this, folks, that this is a good report and good update and tells us some of the amazing work that's gone on this year with some training of future lifeguards, which I know that we've had to deal with hiring lifeguard challenges in the past, so that's good news. The other side of that is that it also brings us to the point that our council budget discussions are going to be very fulsome on this. And so I appreciate Councillor Beelan's comment about asking for some really good information about this particular topic, because I think this could be a multi-year decision, not just a one-year decision. It could be something that could be impacted over many years. So I want to thank you for your report, and I'll look to council. If nothing further, and we have a mover and seconder, then I am prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? That carries unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you, Amanda. Good to have you here. All right, moving on, we do have a Public Works report in regards to our transit survey and public meeting. And the recommendation says, be it resolved that Council of the Township Clearview hereby receive report PW 019-2025 Clearview Transit Survey and Public Meeting dated October 20th, 2025 for information. And can I have a mover and seconder? Mr. Walker again, thank you. And Mr. Broderick again, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, Dan, did you have anything you want to add to your report?
Well, thank you. So, your worship, I'm here to answer any questions. I think all the information is in the report on what the process is going to be, and this is just for council's information ahead of the release of the survey tomorrow, and the upcoming virtual open houses, which are on the 29th and 30th of this month. And the survey will be open until mid-November. And once that closes, the consultant will gather all that information up and provide us with a draft report. I was hoping to get it before, in and around budget deliberations, my presentation to council. It may have to be a supplemental one later, maybe in December. I can bring another report that may or may not impact 2026 budget.
Okay, well, keep us informed on that, and we'll listen up for any urgent changes. But thank you for bringing this, and thank you for doing this review. I think it's important that we do review our transit system. So I, of course, have always been interested in knowing what our transit ability is. Or conversations that we've had with our neighboring municipalities, particularly the Collingwood-Nottawa bus route, which has never really come to fruition, but I know discussions have taken place. And so you may see comments from me in the survey about that very question.
And you'd be happy to know, your worship, that there will be a question on that
Oh,
in
good.
in the survey.
Thank you. Well, Councillor Deneen, let's pass that around Ottawa and let them all know about it. Okay, thank you. Any questions to Dan? Paul has something.
Dan, I see that with left turn or left turn, right turn.
Yeah.
We've piggybacked with Wasaga Beach. As most are aware, we were just completing our strategic plan with the county about this. Are we associating this this review with the county by any chance? Because we've just done public engagement with our community members of Simcoe County.
Through your worship, the deputy mayor, we will be sharing it with them. We're not doing it in conjunction with them, but we will be sharing the information. Our consultant is aware of the Wasaga Beach study. They're doing a master plan, so it's a bit of a bigger study than we're doing. Also with the county's review, so they're aware of it. They're gonna speak about it in their final report, but we're not doing it because of them, I guess, if that's the.
It's just the discussions are, the door is open right now, whether we let the county operate all our transportation systems, or would you maintain status quo? There's all these different options right now. So see what happens. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions in regards to the transit study? I would remind you all to pass the word around in your communities to get the word out on this. Council, we have a motion in front of us with a mover and seconder. I am prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? And that carries unanimous. Thank you. Okay, moving on to page 6. 1 hour from the first pitch. All right. The Winter Stand Tender Award recommendation, be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report PW 020-2025 Winter Sand Tender Award 2025, October 20th, 2025. And item 1, that Council award the tender for winter sand supply to Darren Neal and Sons Excavating Inc. in the amount of $291,879, HST included. Okay, mover and seconder, Deneen and Beelan, thank you. And Dan, nothing further on that, or anything you want to add?
Pretty straightforward. We come every year with the same tender pretty much.
Yeah, it is pretty much. I
it's
mean, we need this sand.
We need
so-
the sand. So yeah, it's about 16,500 ton for Stainer and about 1,500 ton for New Lowell, and that stocks us up for what hopes to be a nice light winter this year.
All right, and so this is sort of like just they'll deliver it all basically as soon as we order it, or is this they get refilled partway through the season? How does that work?
Through your worship, again, depending on the winter season, but we fill it up. We fill up our domes and in this fall.
Yeah.
And depending on the winter, Typically it's a bit of a top up before half load season comes on. Again, depending how much it's depleted early in the season, but
Right.
we tried to get it topped up before load restrictions come on in March. So
That makes total sense. Very good. All right, go ahead, Mr. Van Stavert.
Thank
And
you.
then I see Mr. Beelan's got.
Dan,
Yep,
this,
thank you.
this is sand. Are they required, are they mixing this with salt too, or is this strictly sand?
Your worship, to Deputy Mayor, this tender here is specifically for sand only.
And so it will not be mixed with salt then?
So, but however, we do mix it with salt. So we do about a 4 or 5% mixture of sand salt. The salt is we purchase through purchasing group, the Georgian Bay, I think it's called Georgian Bay Purchasing Group. It's a purchasing group from most of Simcoe County that they purchase the salt for. And we just put that order in. It's, it's tendered regularly, but we put that order in on how much salt we need. And then part of this tender is to mix it with the sand with the salt while it's getting put into the sand dome.
So they're responsible for all that then?
Yeah, except for the salt. We purchase the salt.
That's fine.
Bring it to
No,
the
that's
site
good.
and they
Thank you.
mix it. Yeah.
All good, Mr. Beelan? Yep.
Thank you, worship. I think last year was Gary Priest had this award, did he not, this tender? So it's nice to see competitive bids come in, that it's getting spread around. I'm just wondering, how much did we budget for this? Because it doesn't say anywhere that I could find.
That is a good question. Your worship, might have to get back to you on that. I don't recall what the actual budget amount was for.
Maybe our
Madam Treasurer,
treasurer would.
on the spot. You
On the
ready,
spot.
Kelly? Now designated hitter is Kelly. Can't find it yet, guys?
Through your worship to Councillor Beelan, the 2026 or 2025 budget was, sorry, I pulled up the 2026 proposed. So 2025 was, the budget was 300,000. So it is coming in under.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further? All right. Thank you, council. Thank you, staff. Council, we have a motion in front of us with a mover and seconder. I am prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? And that carries unanimous. Thank you so much. Legislative Services, the Community Assistance Grant Sponsorship, second intake. Recommendation be it resolved that Council of the Township Clearview hereby receive report LS 018-2025, the 2025 Community Assistance Grant and Sponsorship second intake period dated October 20, 2025. Item 1, that Council approve the distribution of the 2025 Community Assistance Grant and Sponsorship second intake as outlined in Appendix A to this report. And item 2, that Council approve carrying the remaining $27,200 of the 2025 grant and sponsorship budget over to the 2026 budget, the grant and sponsorship budget year. Moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Deneen. Thank you both for your work on the committee to help us review this material, along with our former Deputy Clerk, who is no longer with us, but I know she worked very diligently to help do that. So thank you for the work that she did as well. Ms. Clerk, do you have anything you want to add?
Thank you, Worship. I will delegate any questions to our committee members. I was just the vessel to bring the report forward.
Great. So we'll delegate the answers to Paul and or Phyllis. So you have your hand up already, though. Go ahead, Paul.
I just wish to clarify an item. The council in line item 2, the council approved carrying the remaining $27,200. That is not, we have allocated our budget for this year. That is money that is sitting in reserve from previous years, a couple of years back, and has been kept there for good reasons in case of emergencies and stuff. But as far as our budget for this year, which was 56,000 or whatever, 65,000, we have spent it within a few pennies or a few dollars.
Okay.
So don't think that we're not spending the budget. We are spending the budget. We're staying within budget, but there is a reserve that was set aside a number of years ago. So just to make
Okay.
that clear, and our treasurer, I'm sure would be glad to reiterate it or even speak to it. Thank you.
All right, good. Okay, members of council, do you have any questions? You have one too, Phyllis, or Robert has one? Robert Walker first.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Your Worship. Just for the committee and for the ones that did the report, is it possible for the second intake especially to put down that those that did not receive, I know there's some that received in the first intake. So is there a possibility to put down received first intake next to that request line so that we as council then realize that they received it the first time and we don't have any questions then with regards to the second uptake?
I think that's a good point, that the spreadsheet could be inclusive of both the first and second intakes to demonstrate the entire budget. Can we make that happen by next term? Madam Clerk?
Yeah, that's an easy fix for the next intake period.
Okay, perfect. Easy fix. Go ahead, Phyllis.
I just wanted to say that we're still working on doing things like that.
Yeah.
And having it, the spreadsheet was something we came up with this year because we wanted to see prior years and who had put in and everything. And I just want to thank everyone who applied for helping us to help the community. And that's all I've got to say. Thanks.
That's a good point. Thank you, Phyllis, for that. And thank you, Paul. You also have something you want to say?
I just wish to add a bit to Phyllis's comment. We remind everybody, this is the community's money that we are giving to the community. And I don't like when people say it's a council money. No, it's the community's money for the people, for the betterment, for helping people within a community. And it's not always easy to do it. We as a committee do see the first request. We know which ones went in the first, and we will do a better job of making sure that that this is people will be able to see it transparently. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, members of council, anything further? All right. Well, good job. Thank you again. All those in favor? And that carries unanimous. Thank you so much. Here we go. Accessibility Advisory Committee letter in regarding the Creemore Streetscaping Project. So the CAAC have submitted a letter to us. Tammy is here, who's our staff representative on that committee. So happy to have you here, Tammy, if you want to answer any questions. The resolution says, be it resolved that Council of the Township of Clearview hereby receive report LS 019-2025, and it's the Accessibility Advisory Committee letter regarding Creemore Streetscaping Project dated October 20, 2025. Item 1, that Council endorse the Accessibility Advisory Committee letter to the Creemore Downtown Streetscaping Subcommittee attached as Appendix A to this report. The request that the Township Facility Accessible Design Standards, FADS, and other relevant accessibility guidelines be incorporated into the project. Okay, is there a mover and seconder to put this on the floor? Mr. Broderick, thank you. Mr. MacArthur, thank you. And Tammy, do you want to add anything to this? I mean, it's a very good letter. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nothing really to add. I think the Accessibility Committee is excited about the prospects of the project, possibly in Creemore, and just wanting to offer their assistance as an accessibility committee to the project is really the gist of the letter.
Very good. Very good. Any questions from members of council? No questions? I think it, if I may, I think it's important to note that the FADS was designed for a lot of things in the township, and particularly this aspect of how the streetscape design works. It speaks very well to why FADS would be important on this one, because this is about downtown works, sidewalk entrances and so on that are already in plans by the engineers from our Public Works Department. But I think that it's also important to note that we want to make sure that we eliminate any trip hazards, any visual disturbances or inconsistencies, so that people who are using the facilities downtown, once this project is built, have a safe transit fare through the whole area. So I recognize why this committee put this forward. I think it's a good point. If there's nothing further from the members, we have a motion with a mover and seconder. I am prepared to call the motion. All those in favor? All right, that counters unanimously. That's it. Okay, here we go. We have a bylaw to do here. Okay, how about that? Bylaw number 2557, this is the amending the appointment bylaw 22-101. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2557 being a bylaw to amend Schedule A of the Committee of the Board Appointments bylaw be presented and read a first, second, and third time finally passed 20th day of October 2025. Can I have that moved by Mr. MacArthur and seconded by Mr. Beelan? Thank you. Any questions on the bylaw? Seeing none, all in favor? And that carries unanimous. Council, we're going to go to our notice of motion underneath new and new business. I'll just start with new business. Anybody got any new business? Gone. Now we have the notice of motion. This was read last week or brought to our attention last week. Councillor Walker has asked for this to be put on our agenda. Councillor Walker, I'll consider you the mover of this and I'll read it and we'll seek a seconder if there's one available. Whereas the development of the commercial plaza at 100 Grand Trunk Road, Stainer, there has been increase in traffic flows on Highway 26 moving in and out of the commercial plaza, causing safety concerns with turning onto Highway 26. And whereas Council of the Township of Clearview understood with the approval of the development that a traffic signal light would be installed prior to the opening of the McDonald's restaurant to address safety concerns. And whereas it is understood that the Ministry of Transportation now does not require a traffic signal light at this location until 2031. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Clearview hereby directs staff and the mayor to contact the Ministry of Transportation to investigate installing a traffic light at the intersection of Highway 26 and 100 Grand Trunk Road immediately, and consider reducing the speed limit from 80 kilometers per hour to 60 kilometers per hour in that area to address safety concerns. Thank you, Mr. Walker. Is there a seconder on the motion? Mr. Beelan will be the seconder. Thank you. Mr. Walker, go ahead. I'll let you speak to this first.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. As we all know, the development is at the east end of Stainer. And when that first development was brought forward, the commercial link, it was understood at that point in time that they were talking about two things, either a roundabout or traffic lights. And somewhere along the line, the roundabout got thrown out. And our understanding was that once the commercial entity was started, that traffic lights would be installed at Grand Trunk and Highway 26. Now that we have that development, that commercial development there, we have 4 commercials, buildings, businesses that will be utilizing Grand Trunk. Plus we have the 5th, which is the Stainer Care Center that will be utilizing Grand Trunk. We also have the residents of that area that will be coming in and out. We have the trucks that will be going in and out of those commercial entities, as well as the next phase if construction goes forward. Being on that corner, the issue is that a lot of safety, first of all, and that the lights were supposed to be there. One of the main issues is, as I've been to that corner a few times, the misconception of the distance as they're coming around the corner towards Stainer. You're just not realizing how close they really are or what speed they're traveling when you're making a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn, because they're right up behind you or just bypassing you. And I've seen a few I've seen a few misses, very close misses there. So to me, it is very important that that traffic light be installed as well as the speed limit be reduced. Now, my first question is, who in their bright mind made the decision to cancel the traffic lights that we understood when we made the proposal for McDonald's? Who canceled the traffic lights and made that decision? Was it developer or was it MTO?
All right, well, thank you for your presentation. Perhaps I can look to our staff. I know that Dan has been working with representatives of the MTO on this, as the CAO. There has been some letters of communication go back and forth. I must share with you that I actually had a telephone conversation with Prab Sakarhara, who is the Minister of Transportation, and I shared with him my displeasure in hearing about this problem. But I don't know if I can answer your direct question there, Mr. Walker, as to who and how it went sideways here. Perhaps, Dan, you've been working on this. Do you have any comments that how we can move forward from this process right now?
Thank you, Worship. And to answer Councillor Walker's question is simply that staff were aware of the permit that was issued by the MTO for the construction of the McDonald's. It was when it was first indicated that signals would be required for the opening of the McDonald's restaurant. After some inquiry earlier in August, staff were then made aware that the permit had been amended due to provincially sensitive matters, that the permit was then amended to not require a signalization until 2031. That's when staff became I want to say maybe August 12th or so, maybe a bit later than that. So that was the first time we became aware that the permit for the McDonald's construction had been amended to not require signalization, rather that it were delayed or put off until 2031. I can let you know that since that time, staff has been in contact with representatives of corridor management who issue the permits for those types of works, and have been going back and forth with them. And in fact, we have a meeting this Thursday afternoon with staff, the developer, their engineers, as it seems that MTO may be open to the fact to have those lights installed sooner rather than later. If everybody is in agreement and the funds are available, we'll know more after Thursday afternoon. Will they be installed or will they be operational prior to the opening of the McDonald's? I would say not. There will be some work that's required, obtaining materials and control boxes, those types of things. The conduits are in the ground so that, you know, the work for the roadway itself should be sufficient. There may have to be some line painting changes, things like that on Grand Trunk Road, but the conduits themselves under the ground are there, so the electricity can be pulled through and you know, have poles mounted, those types of things. So staff will know more after Thursday afternoon on what direction or how well it's going to be perceived in that direction, as far as having those installed sooner rather than later.
Thank you very much, Dan, for their response. Let's go to Councillor Janine. You have a question?
I'm just wondering if that's the case, could we go to the county and get at least the speed reduction done?
Actually, Councillor, the area is actually controlled by the province of Ontario right there.
Okay.
That is, and so that is part of the conversation that,
It's not County of Simcoe.
no, that portion is still in the province of Ontario's control, right, Dan? So
yeah,
it's outside of what's called our city limit, but it's still within the MTO's responsibility. So part of my conversation with Minister Sakarera was that I asked him to, you know, please consider reducing the speed immediately, given the fact that, you know, traffic light installation can take time. I think the speed reduction would be a perfect thing he could do immediately to assist us. And he gave me his response was that he'll get back to me. That's been more than a week. So I know the House just sat today, so maybe he's got other things in his mind, but I'm going to work through Mr. Saunderson's office to try to get a better answer on that as soon as I can.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So for that,
And
question.
Your Worship,
Dan,
Your
go ahead.
Worship, that will be a discussion as well on Thursdays, is the signalization and the speed reduction and how we can progress that through as quick as possible.
Okay, Paul, you have a question, and then Mr. Broderick.
Thank you. Dan, a comment. I had the opportunity recently to drive through to see how the traffic pattern would work. And for those who haven't been through there, there is what I call a fishtail coming out of the McDonald's exit. In other words, if somebody was coming along Grand Trunk, they can, from the subdivision side or whatever, they can turn right into McDonald's. But if somebody turns off of Highway 26, they cannot turn into McDonald's. They have to go to the Foodland entrance, circle around, go to whether they're going to the liquor store or McDonald's or whatever, and then they can come out that same laneway and only go out to the right. Now, the problem I have with it, when I left that property, it appears to me that there's only one lane in and one lane out of Grand Trunk. So, Dan, I hope when you're having this discussion, I want an engineer to prove me wrong on how we can speed the traffic, because I can tell you the minute McDonald's opens up, Dollarama opens up, the liquor store opens up, it's going to be a crapshoot in there. There's going to be a lot of frustrated people. So, I hope, Dan, and you're obviously the messenger, that the people in charge realize they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. And these developers who are dependent on income from their tenants are not going to be happy when they get all the complaints. So I think we're doing the right step, making them aware of it now. But there's a couple of things, like I say, we need signalization, we need the speed reduced, but we also got to make sure that we have two exits leaving Grand Trunk Railroad, one going to the east, one going to the west. Thank you.
Dan?
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. And to Deputy Mayor's point, right now, as it appears, the painting is I'll say an interim solution. The ultimate design is to have a northbound, I'll say in lane, a northbound lane, and a left turn and a right turn. Three lanes at that location. Yeah,
3 lanes altogether. Okay.
that's the ultimate design, painted.
Would that be
It's just-
does the curbing allow for that?
Yep.
Okay, so that would work okay. I just want to make sure that
I did go out and measure just to make sure that they,
it looks like
they
it though, Dan.
constructed it properly and as per what was constructed per the design.
Yeah.
There's 13 meters there between curb, and that should be enough to fit 3 lanes for sure.
You almost question, I wish they had done 4, but anyways, 3 you can live with from an exit point of view. So thank
Well,
you.
come on, there's a drive-through. You got to frustrate people when it comes to drive-throughs. Anyway, the clerk actually just whispered in my ear to remind me that this whole facility looks very much like what you would see at Shelburne off of Highway 89 there on the north side of the road. The new McDonald's went in there. There's a traffic light. You turn at the traffic light. If you're going eastbound, you turn in to go into that plaza, and there's that fishtail right there that you cannot enter to get into that restaurant. You'd have to go all the way down, go across in front of the Dollarama store, and then turn back up and come back up to get in. It's the same setup that they have down there. So if you want to experience it before it's open, go on down there. So to Mr. Walker's request here for this motion, I want to assure you that since this was first brought up, we have been working on this a lot. The CAO, myself, Dan, we've had many conversations. We've reached out to MPP Saunderson and his staff have been very, very helpful. We've had contacts from members of the MTO staff who have called to ask questions of us. I shared with the staff members that I spoke to that this council is extremely frustrated that that a delegated authority to give a site plan approval was given based on a advice from them and a permit from them based June the 3rd. And that then was subsequently changed, and we weren't effectively notified of that change. And the developer and the construction crew continue to proceed. So there's still a lot of questions in the air as to whether or not the McDonald's store will open on their scheduled time, which happens to be sometime in November. So we do have a few options we can play, which I don't want to discuss now because we would then be quoting our CAO by saying you can't negotiate with yourself. So we need to make sure that we follow through on all the things, all the options that we have available to us. So I just want to assure you that we are working on it. And I've been engaged with this. As I said, I had a conversation with the minister himself, which I thought was very good of him to call me one night at 8:30 at night. And I had a nice, good 40-minute conversation with him about that. And so I hope to get some traction on this. Members, do you have anything further you want to add to this motion or any questions further? Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Broderick, and of course, Mr. Beelan.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you to Dan, I'm just really curious. Do we know the specific reasons why the roundabout consideration was dropped in the first place? It would just solve so many issues.
Your worship, to Councillor Broderick, I don't know why.
Okay, thank you.
It's never relayed to me why they changed that.
Just, to me, that's a lost opportunity. That's
100%. Yeah. Thank you, John. Marty.
Thank you, Your Worship. I sort of agree with Paul that we do really have to look at how the traffic flows and stuff. So it'd be nice, I'm sure they're going to consider this, synchronizing it with the other lights that are there. So that you have like truckers don't have to stop at both, have them using their Jake brakes all through town. So that they synchronize it with the other lights that with that intersection going to the beach. What's that, Road 7? Yeah. Thank you.
All right. I just want to point out the last point. The traffic lights have been talked about at that intersection since the day we broke ground on building our emergency hub. The very day we broke ground there, we talked about that very point, about the fact that to the north of us, there's going to be a big subdivision built right there with commercial lands all over, and our firefighters, paramedics, and police who respond out of our emergency hub facility, need to get in and out effectively, and there would be a traffic light. So I expect our chief, you'll be working somewhere along the line here to figure out how to maintain those lights to give you access to them through the RCAS system that could fire off the light for you from the truck, or there's other systems in play, but I just want to hope that you're going to continue to be able to work with that, and we'll hear more from you, I'm sure, at budget time. Thank you, sir. Council, is nothing further? All right. Thank you, Mr. Walker, for bringing this forward. Council, all those in favor? Thank you. That carries unanimously. Okay, at this time, we have item number 13 in front of us, which of course is our confirmatory bylaw. The confirmatory bylaw says, be it resolved, bylaw number 2558 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the October 20th, 2025 council meeting being presented and read a first, second, and third time finally past the 20th day of October 2025. Moved by Mr. Broderick. Thank you. How about Madam Deneen? Thank you. Is there any questions to the confirmatory? All those in favor? That carries unanimous. Motion to adjourn at we're going to call it 7:30 p.m. All right. Just before we go, I do have one quick thing I want to share with you, which I think is appropriate for tonight. I had a fortune cookie today for dinner. I had a fortune cookie. And it says, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. Well, I'm saying go Blue Jays. All those in favor? This motion or this meeting is adjourned.